All right, this is going to be the first video, I think, that's a serious video ever put out on Twitter. Um, I'm compelled to respond to this guy, mostly because our climate czar, Stephen Guilbeault, the criminal convict, um, he seems to want to use it as evidence to support his position that carbon tax isn't going to hurt anyone financially because he doesn't understand economics, he doesn't understand the industry, and obviously, this guy who made the first video, as I'm going to show you, doesn't understand any of that either. I'm a truck driver. I drive, specifically, my whole career has been agricultural commodities. It's been bulk, it's been reefer drive van, you name it. I'm also a farmer, fourth generation. I'm a grain farmer. So, particularly in the points this guy's going to make, there's a couple of products in which I'm intimately familiar with the processes that goes from farm to table. This guy has no idea what he's talking about. I'm gonna go over that in a second here. We're gonna let this idiot say what he's gonna say until I have to stop to laugh, and we'll take a second while I laugh.
All right, I've done a few videos the last little bit talking about the carbon tax and the cost of the carbon tax and how much the carbon tax costs Canadians, and how the conservative point of view that it's passed on to the price of goods and stuff is a bunch of bull. And I'm here to prove it because a lot of you have been asking me like, well, the carbon tax may only be 3 cents, but it's passed on to the consumers in the price of groceries. It maybe, but let's really break down the math because when you break down math and statistics, you get some very interesting data, and a lot of the times you get data that potentially disagrees with what your opinion is or
I
the
I
opinion of
love I love how this guy has somehow ripped off Ben Shapiro. All right, listen, folks. The facts don't care about your feelings. All right, he's rephrased it as math doesn't care about your opinion. He's I don't know, Freudian, maybe.
you've been told by people who are being actively lobbied by grocery giants. Now, in true Canadian Kells fashion, I made a spreadsheet because spreadsheets are awesome when you're trying to look at numbers and data. And I found some key categories of foods, you know, your bread, your milk, your eggs, your coffee, all that stuff, cereal. And we're going to break it down product by product and to show how much the carbon tax actually increases.
I love how he's also explaining as if this is a real complex set of processes he's about to break down for people because there's no way you could have possibly broken this down. And if you watch, it's completely one dimensional. He's got one step that he's going to go through, one step, but he's going to break down one step for you.
Is your price of groceries. All right, for cereal, 120 boxes of cereals are on a skid. There's 26 skids on a trailer, which means if this trailer is full of cereal, is 3,120 boxes of cereal. The average tractor
All right, listen to what he's about to say. He's starting off the average tractor trailer. Listen to what he's about to say.
trailer gets 30 kilometers to the liter.
The average tractor trailer gets 30 kilometers to the liter, he says. Our climate czar, Minister of Environment and Climate Change, whatever the hell his stupid title is, useless position, has retweeted this guy's video who just said semi trucks get 70 miles to the gallon. Yeah, that's a meritocracy, right? Thanks. Thanks, democracy. You put the smartest in charge.
Which means if the truck was driving 1,000 kilometers, there'd be an additional fuel charge of $53.01 based off the current carbon tax numbers. If the truck drove 2,500 kilometers, which is approximately the entire distance across the entire of North America.
Hold on. The entire distance of North America is not 2,500 kilometers. You want to go from Victoria Island to the St. John's, Newfoundland? Well, that's 7,200 kilometers to drive that. I think he's off by a little bit. A little bit. All right, please continue.
Continent, we'd be looking at $132.52 additional, which means that the increase, the amount of extra money that's going to be passed on to the consumer from the fuel charges is a penny. We'll round up to 2 pennies if it drove 1,000 kilometers. If it drove 2,500 kilometers, it's roughly around a nickel, just under a nickel. So as you can see, we can do this with bread. Same thing. The price is obviously the same. There's more products of bread on a truck, full truck, and the price for bread is not even a penny. Not even if you're rounding properly, it's not even a penny. And if it drove across the country, pretty much, you're looking at a penny. Milk, same thing, 37.44 for a full truckload. So penny and then 3 cents, 4 cents. Eggs, even better, not even a penny. 2.20024 cents. Not even a penny if it drove across the country. For apples, for this is in
All right, he
pounds,
keeps going on and on
100
and on.
1,000 or sorry
It's okay.
15,600 pounds of
I'm gonna
apples.
stop him right there. So what he's laying out for us, and in the meantime, I forgot to bring up another window. All apps. I'm gonna have to bring up Paint because I'm very basic. Call me a boomer if you want. I don't know where Paint is. Paint, where are you? Paint. Paint. Okay. I need to add this to OBS Studio. New window. Capture a window. Okay. Okay. Paint. Yes. Okay. All right. We're gonna we're gonna move this down to there. We're gonna move this right over there. Okay. So we're gonna draw a picture for this guy. So far, I'm gonna pull a paint here and draw. This is what he has, and they make a nice brush size, nice big thick old size for my old man eyes. See, he has the point of origin A. Point of origin. And that product is going to go to a grocery store, I guess. There's a pretty little grocery store right here. It's got a door. Okay, and it's a laws or something. Blah blah blahs. Blah 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 blahs. Blah blah. It's probably spelled wrong. Blah, there's a W in there, something. Blah blahs. All right. He's got one trip. Okay, but that's not that's that's not what happens. It's not what happens. Okay, point A in the evolution of food from farm to table actually starts with the seed. Number one. Okay, so the farmer's got the seed. Let's just discount what happened with getting that seed from last year, but it did have to go into storage. It did have to go into drying. Now, the government has offered farmers a $1,500 rebate on drying, regardless of the size. That's as big of a rebate as you can get. Now, there are many farmers that have sizable bins and dryer systems in which, in any given year, they're going to be spending actually tens of thousands in liquid natural gas for their dryer system. It's either going to be propane or nat gas, usually nat gas. And the government has put a carbon tax on that nat gas use, and it ends up being thousands upon thousands of dollars in carbon tax with the HST compounded on top of it. All right, so we've got seeds in your A position, starting line there, that are actually going to a seed processing plant, like, I don't know, Pioneer, which is, well, now it's Corteva, I don't know. You know, they bought out by some American company, call themselves something. You know what? Where's my eraser? Screw it. New. Yes, don't save. All right, so in position A, we have the seeds, and those seeds are actually going to a seed processing plant. All right, that seed processing plant, currently known as Corteva, that has high usage of nat gas as far as its use for heating the building. I'm sure they're using some form of natural gas or propane or something as far as I'm not sure what they're using their industrial size freezers. but lots of energy use. Huge energy use. Okay? Don't know what their carbon tax is looking like, but I'm sure it's not small, and they do not get an exemption because they're an industry, not a farm. The farmer gets only an exemption on dyed diesel. That is the diesel they can put into their tractors, nothing more. They do not get exemptions on clear diesel. So trucking, any shipping from a farmer, any maintenance truck use, any field truck use, none of that. None of that. Gasoline as well, no gasoline. Gasoline is not exempt for the farmer because there's no such thing as dyed gas. Moving on, the seed is processed, bagged, and it gets shipped out to warehouses. Now we have warehouses. That's another shipment process right there. We ship to the processing plant, shipped to a warehouse. Little door on the warehouse. Okay. From the warehouse, it gets shipped to a dealer. Okay, we're just in the seeds right now. Nothing else, just seeds. Now we got a dealer over here. He's going to sell the seeds to the farmer. Dealer ships the seeds to the farmer. All right, back to the farmer so he can plant them. All right. We haven't got the seed in the ground yet. All right, and before we can put the seed in the ground, we need fertilizer. We need fertilizer in the ground, in which the processing of granulated fertilizer or liquid fertilizer is huge cost and energy. Okay? All right. Okay, folks. Drugs are bad. Okay. All right. Now, the fertilizer needs to be shipped across the country. All right. Fertilizer goes to agricultural corporation. Let's call them, let's say it's going to Cargill. From Cargill, distribution. It goes to, typically it's going to go to a local mill. All right, here's your mill. From your mill, it goes to the farmer. Are you seeing what I'm putting down here yet now? You're back to the farmer. Okay. All right, we're now at fertilizers on the ground, some of it, and your seed is ready to be planted. We haven't gotten a plant sprung up yet. There's no sprout. We've already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different steps of shipping in between different steps of processing, of warehousing, of distribution, in which each step needs heating in the building, needs energy usage for refining, for processing. All right, go to the farmer. The farmer needs tires, he needs belts, he needs anything that has petroleum in it is now greatly affected by the carbon tax, because petroleum is affected by the carbon tax. Tires, petroleum project. All right, you need tires. Guess what? Price is up. Farmer's got another cost. Okay. Anything that was shipped to the farmer, anything that he needs scheduled maintenance for, the oil change in the tractor, if he needs 8 liters in a little 40/20, just to spread some fertilizer. Got a little tractor, little spreader. Okay. Guess what? That oil, carbon tax, not exempt. I'm so tired of hearing people say farmers are exempt. The only thing exempt is dyed diesel. Nothing else. You get a 1,500 rebate if you spend enough money on nat gas. All right, where are we at? We're at fertilizer is in the field. Now we're planting, we've got maintenance, we've got anything that was shipped to them, any parts for the tractors he needs to do maintenance on, all that's carbon tax. The shipment of each one of those products. Now the trucking of those pieces, those maintenance parts for the tractors, for his sprayer, for his spreader, for his plow, for his cultivator, anything. All those parts now have shipping, now have carbon tax. Okay, there's a stop here, going there, there's a building here, it's got heating, warehousing, going processing, everything. Okay, new. All right, I'm getting a little bit autistic here. I'm gonna get canceled for that, but new. Um, wipe the slate clean. I didn't say autistic. I'm autistic actually, so I can say it aloud. All right, now let's just skip ahead. We've got a lot of things spraying. You need to process the spray for the field. Yes, every farmer's using spray. You need to. It's a requirement because if you try to go organic for everybody, you will have a famine. I'm sorry to tell you, we cannot have organic food for everyone. It is a horrible practice for efficiency for making lots of yield. It's a niche thing that'll never feed the planet. Just telling you that right now. Okay, but we're spraying. Spraying has to be manufactured, has to be processed, has to be, you know, put in its packaging, has to then go to the distribution, has to then go to Cargill or wherever your co-op, your local co-op, you're getting your local co-op. All these buildings need heat, all being carbon taxed for the heat. All the energy being used is going to have some sort of carbon tax somewhere along the lines because we're all using that gas because a lot of times, I mean, even if you go to five-phase, you're doing 550-volt systems in your processing plant. There's a lot of shit that's just it's not enough. I mean, industrial sized freezers that are 5 acres big. I don't know. I'm not involved in that part of the process, to be honest. But I imagine those freezers aren't running on farts. All right, they're not. That's a lot of fucking energy for 550-volt 5 phase, whatever the hell. I don't know anything about electricity. What am I saying? All right, just new, whatever, new. Don't save. Okay, more steps. All right, now we get to the point in time where we have a nice, pretty field of wheat because we're going to talk about the bread. He mentioned bread or cereal or something like that. Okay, yeah, this is a pretty field of wheat. I could probably put up a better video. You know what? We'll put up I don't know what this video is doing. Screw it. That's a pretty field of wheat. I don't care what you say. It's pretty. Go back to my paint. Okay. We harvest. The combine has dyed diesel. Okay, because it's exempt. Fair enough. But that diesel had to get to the combine. It shipped, and every step along the way of getting the diesel, it was shipped, it was processed, and all those steps required a carbon tax. So while the diesel on the farmer's end seems to be exempt because it's dyed diesel, you didn't put the carbon tax on that diesel, it did take shipping and processing to get it there. So there is carbon tax vicariously on the dyed diesel. Okay, but okay, I'll give it to you. Dyed diesel. All right, combine's not using carbon tax, sort of, kind of. The tractors in the fields. But if you're shipping with a truck to your local mill, okay, here's your mill, there's a silo, here's another silo, weird skinny silo, here's your office building and your weigh scales here, whatever. All right, you're going to your local mill. That truck, it's using clear diesel, no carbon exemption. All right. Now that mill, I mean, if you're not storing it in your own farm and drying it on your farm, that mill has to absorb the cost of the carbon tax, which has gone up astronomically for nat gas because it takes a lot of nat gas. It takes a lot of energy to dry grain. Okay, from that mill, all right, and I'm talking six figures in a local mill. My local mill, I know the guys fairly personally. They've told me that an annual cost of nat gas is above $1 million, well above $1 million, and that's just a local small town mill. All right, you increase it a little bit, and guess what? Our costs went up. Farmers' cost for drying, we pay more now to cover that cost. From your local mill, it's going to go to a flour mill. Maybe you're making Oreos. Maybe it'll go to Nabisco. Is Nabisco Oreos? I think so. Mr. Christie? No. Mr. Christie's Nabisco? Whatever. We're going to go to Nabisco. All right? Guess what? That's another shipment. All right? Guess what? Nabisco, that's going to take a lot of energy to process your wheat into flour for Oreos. Guess what? Then there's more shipment from Nabisco's flour mill. It goes to Nabisco processing plant to make the Oreos. Okay, they're going to make Oreos. They're going to package them. Lots of energy, heating that building. All right, and then they're going to go to Loblaws distribution center. Okay, they're going to go up to Ajax or whatever. Maybe Cambridge, maybe Ajax, and from there, they will ship out to the grocery stores. All right. Yay! We're finally at the grocery store. It took that long. Okay? Took that long. And I'm probably skipping steps. I'm doing this real quick here. Off the top of my head, real quick. Uh, Whatever. Don't save. All right, that's a quick overview of some of the steps it takes to get from farm to table. Okay, it's not. What does this guy think? He gave one step of shipping for 1,000 kilometers. Oh, it's going to go 1,000 kilometers. In all the shipping I showed, there is carbon tax on shipping of the product. We're talking this stuff is going thousands of kilometers at the end of the day. Different steps of processing, manufacturing, storage, all requiring nat gas heating or energy, carbon tax. It's compounding, compounding, compounding. And guess what? The HST is compounded on top of the carbon tax. So while the carbon tax might add 3 cents a liter for fuel, the HST, and again, it's on top of the nat gas too, compounds on every fuel source. You get carbon tax, then HST compounded on top of it. Now everything compounds on top of the step before it. You have one step of processing plus shipping plus processing plus manufacturing plus warehousing. Every step of the way, they have to figure the cost compounded on top of each other. And this guy thinks he can just go down to the Oreo cookie farm and he'll just pull a package of Oreos off the Oreo cookie tree. Throw it on a truck and away it goes to Loblaws. This this is the one-dimensional juvenile mind frame that we have running this freaking country. I'm I'm speechless at this point. Stephen Guilbeault, who scaled the CN Tower, cost the owners of the CN Tower $50,000 in, I don't know, that's what the report says. I don't know how. Safety equipment, cranes. They had to get him off the CN Tower. $50,000. He did community service. Months later, he went and he actually attacked the home of Ralph Klein, who wasn't home, but his wife was. Literally put a ladder on the roof, started climbing the roof with a bunch of Greenpeace idiots. He's he's been charged and convicted criminally. He's an idiot, and he's running our country, making somewhere in the area of 300,000 a year. That's our country. USA, please invade us. SOS, Canada needs help.